By the start of 1980, CART and USAC had solved their problems and joined together to become the Championship Racing League, the CRL. Everyone was a skirt watcher, but the skirts were part of the new concept in racing called ground effects. The leader of that technology was the Chaparral team, headed by Jim Hall, with driver Johnny Rutherford. Rick Mears was the Series and the Indy 500 defending champ. Champion last year. Since we have seen you at Indianapolis, what has that victory done for you?
Well, it's it's just opened up a lot of doors as far as my career goes. It's really gotten the ball rolling for me, and opened up a lot of opportunities and made a lot more demands on my time. But that's the main thing, I guess. I can see that it has had a little less impact this year because of the CART USAC thing and all the debates that we've had on all the different situations. I feel it has taken away quite a bit. Yes.
What do you think about that? Is this a better situation now?
Well, I think it will be. I think what happened had to take place in order to get some of the changes made that we did get made today. And I think it's going to take some time to get everything back on its feet again, but I think it's all for the better.
How about that potential damage? Did it do a lot?
Well, I don't know. It's really hard to say. And the year just starting out, we're gonna have to get into the year ways before we can see what happened. But I'm sure it did some damage, but I don't feel it did anything too drastically. I think everything will pull through fine.
Everybody was happy about the new combination, including old-timers like A.J. Watson.
Well, I'm happy they're back together. I'm not real happy with all the situations like running different boosts at different racetracks, but I'm sure glad we're going racing again.
Well, it's going to make it a little easier for me because I run the USAC Sprint and the Champ Dirt division and some midgets occasionally, so they had a rule in there that as long as I ran CART, I wasn't going to be able to run any of the USAC's other divisions, so it's going to help me out that way, but I'm not sure what effect it's going to have on championship racing yet.
Well, I think we're going to have some rough spots. There's some personality problems that'll eventually crop up, and I don't think it's going to be an easy road, but I think the best part is that, like grown men, everybody's gotten together and said, let's give it a try. Let's try to work this problem out, which has just got to be good for the sport.
Even the grand champion, A.J. Foyt, whose loyalties had rested mostly with USAC, was here and trying to solve all of the many problems between the two organizations. But now the smiles were out because they were ready to go racing. Behind the Datsun pace car and a smaller crowd than would have been appreciated at Ontario Motor Speedway, Johnny Rutherford led the field down from the pole position, with Bobby Unser the outside of the front row. Rutherford's new ground effect Chaparral had incredible downforce. It was rumored that if you could figure out how to get the car on the ceiling, it could run there, stuck to the ceiling. Its ground effects were so strong. When the green flag came out, Johnny Rutherford jumped into the lead in front of the field. This field had an interesting mix of both stock block engines, 4-cylinder Offenhauser engines, and 8-cylinder Cosworth engines. It made for interesting competition. Rutherford led most of the race, chased by Bobby Unser. Then Bobby Unser was able to pull up alongside Rutherford and, using a back marker, move into the lead. But soon the Texas yellow Chaparral was able to move back toward the front of the field as the race ground on. Rutherford picked up the lead and was unsurpassed after that point, taking the win at Ontario Motor Speedway. It was the start of a season that saw Rutherford go over 2,000 miles without falling out of competition. The truce between the United States Auto Club and the CART continued throughout the year until the Pocono 500, when the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, in the person of John Cooper, announced that he would think about who would sanction the race in the future. The CRL broke up, and CART was now on its own. The split also contributed to the demise of Ontario Motor Speedway, which at the end of the year was closed and sold to local California developers. The grandstands and straightaway were raised. We'll be back with more right after this.